And we have seen, of course, other organizations in Canada as well that have expressed nationalist interests back in their countries of origin. But this Khalistani organization across the country has been growing in size and becoming more vocal. And of course, I think it's fair to say that the vast majority of Canadians don't really understand or appreciate how abhorrent this is, quite frankly, in your country, in India. The same way it would be, for example, yes. We have some separatist elements in Canada with respect to the province of Quebec. If this was happening outside of our country, we would be concerned and would express those concerns to the host nation, which I know Prime Minister Modi has done so with Prime Minister Trudeau. And likewise, there have been exchanges as recently as just 2 weeks ago at the G20. There appears, in my opinion, to be a complete personal breakdown in the relationship at the very top of our countries. But this isn't to say that we don't have many more ties that bind, and that we as Canadians and as Indians want to get along on many fronts: cultural, trade, economic, exchange for students. We have to get back to normalizing the relationship. We are Commonwealth countries, we are democratic countries, we are G20 countries. We need to get past this particular period of time and return to normalized relations.
100%, and people of both countries would want that, but isn't it incumbent on the government of Canada, more specifically the Prime Minister, who has come out swinging with those charges, not backed by allegations, and yet remains quiet about these very serious charges? Mr. Brahmachalani, at this point, without any hyperbole, most people are wondering whether Canada is turning into the new Pakistan. Where else would you see such a nefarious nexus of terrorists, petty criminals, gangsters, and separatists?
Well, let me assure you that...
You are absolutely right. The question is to me, right?
Yes, sorry, it was Mr. Chalani. I apologize. Mr. Chalani.
Yes, unfortunately today, Canada serves as ground zero for Khalistan militancy. British Columbia is the global headquarters of Sikh extremists promoting or glorifying terrorism. In per capita terms, there seem to be far more Khalistanis in Canada than in any other country, including India, Britain, or the United States. And there is a more fundamental, long-standing issue, which is marring relations between Canada and India. In fact, Canada has come full circle. From the early 1980s, it ignored India's protests over the growing operations of violent Khalistanis from Canadian soil. That emboldened the extremists to carry out the 1985 Air India flight bombing and a couple of other attacks. And in more recent years, by disregarding the intelligence dossiers New Delhi has presented about how Canadian Khalistanis are fomenting terrorism in India, Ottawa has brought bilateral ties under increasing strain. Before, Trudeau dealt a grievous blow to the Indo-Canadian relationship by hurling a bombshell accusation at New Delhi. It is Trudeau's willful tolerance of violent Khalistanis that is at the core of the problem.